Iga Swiatek and Coco Gauff both won their opening round matches at the WTA Finals in Riyadh, which means they'll meet on Tuesday for the 13th time. We all know the head-to-head is lopsided in Iga's favor, but many feel that this is a great opportunity for Coco to make up some ground and claim that second victory over the pole. I'll explain why soon. And Aryna Sabalenka has already claimed the top spot in her group at the finals. More importantly, though, she's on the cusp of clinching the year-end #1 ranking. Hey, I'm Christian Basnight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post more WTA Finals updates. Yes, on Tuesday, Iga Swiatek and Coco Gauff will meet at the WTA Finals for a third consecutive year when they face off in Saudi Arabia. Swiatek had an eventful first match under her new coach, Qinwen Zheng, when she pulled off an incredible comeback to defeat Barbora Krejcikova, winning it by a score of 4-6, 7-5, 6-2. Barbora surprised me definitely by how well she started this match, and she raced out to a 6-4, 3-love double break lead. Iga was clearly rusty and looked pretty off for the first part of the match, and it makes sense considering how she has not played since the US Open. Barbora, though, giving credit to her, she played very well within herself, and she took advantage of the quicker court conditions, which got her balls through the court faster and disrupted the Swiatek forehand, which can kind of break down sometimes, especially against bigger hitters and under faster conditions. It really looked like a typical Swiatek loss in the making, with Iga kind of going off the rails a bit with her unforced errors. But I think Iga getting that break back at 3-love down in the second set was integral in giving her more time to settle in and ultimately find her range, which she did. Swiatek from that point on started to cut down on her unforced error rate, and she improved her serve, while it was the exact opposite for Krejcikova. In the end, it was kind of one-way traffic for Swiatek, as Krejcikova faded significantly towards the end, while Iga was just like a freight train out there, being unrelenting and dominating on her serve, while significantly improving her return as well. Barbora did help Iga out though. Her serve lost its potency and she made more unforced errors, and she seemed to struggle a bit physically out there as well, grabbing her back a couple times towards the end. This is definitely one of Iga's more impressive comeback victories, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Iga-nators, is this her first time recovering from a set and double breakdown in the second set? It might be her first, but regardless, still an incredible comeback win. And I think a win like this will give Iga a lot of confidence under her belt for the remainder of this tournament. Coco Gauff, meanwhile, earned her second career victory over her former doubles partner and friend, Jessica Pegula, with a decisive 6-3, 6-2 scoreline. This was an interesting match because the level honestly wasn't that high from either woman. Pegula, though, was notably more error-prone than normal, and Coco did not make life easy at all for her compatriot with her impeccable defense to offense skills. Coco's movement and defense was perhaps her biggest asset out there for her, for sure. She was not as solid from that forehand wing like she was in Wuhan, but the backhand was money though, and it was her money-making shot against Pegula. I think a big figure for Coco, stats-wise, is her serve, specifically the double fault numbers. Coco only hit 2 double faults, which is huge for her considering how we all know the American can go in the double digits with those double faults. Coco, taking care of her serve for the most part, only freed her up more on her return, where she was very, very strong, breaking Jessica a total of 5 times in this match. Now, a big consensus among the tennis community is that this is one of Coco's best opportunities to beat Iga again, and some even say that she is the favorite heading into this matchup. Iga is 11-1 against the American and has only lost 2 total sets to Gauff, so I still would not say that Coco is the favorite because there is a clear head-to-head issue, a matchup problem for the American. I think it boils down to Iga just doing mostly everything better than Gauff, and she has historically overpowered the American with her great pace of shot and taking advantage of Gauff's kind of shakier forehand. Their last meeting at the Roland Garros semifinals was interesting because Coco came out ultra aggressive in this match, but she could not find her range at all really, especially in that opening set. Iga played well within herself and allowed Coco to kind of be herself at first, but when Coco did eventually find her range a bit and was more consistent, Iga then elevated her level and was able to snuff out the Americans' chances. Now, focusing more on the underdog here, Coco, and how she should play this match in order to take the upset, I think that ideally she needs to play from the ground like how she did in Wuhan against Aryna Sabalenka, especially. She was just consistently aggressive from the ground, not pressing too much, but whenever she did have an opportunity to go for the kill shot, she took it and took full advantage. Coco's defensive skills, I think, will be very important here in this match against Iga. I don't think that she has the same confidence and aggressive consistency on that forehand, especially compared to how she played in China. So I think that she'll need to rely more on the heavier, more spinny forehand shot like she did at Cincinnati. And I think that that shot will be advantageous to her, especially with the higher bouncing balls here in Riyadh. I also noticed that Coco, especially in that Pegula match, used her forehand wide, more of an angle shot to really drag Jessica wide. And I think that would be a great play against Iga too, to kind of get her out of position. I noticed Krejcikova did this pretty well herself. Coco also needs to make sure that she keeps the double faults at bay. That might be one of the biggest factors here. Iga, it would be tough though, because Iga is relentless on her second serve return, and I think that would be a big shot for her in this match. Swiatek also has the advantage in the serve department, in my opinion. I was very impressed by how well Iga served towards the end of that match against Krejcikova. She finished with 10 aces to 5 double faults, and still I think that Swiatek is a better server right now overall than Coco, and I think that Iga's kick serve will only be more of a weapon here on the higher bouncing ball services here in Riyadh. Given my prediction, I do believe that Iga will come through and take this match in 3 sets. I think Iga definitely is not at her best, but I believe that she'll only get better the more that she plays this tournament. I anticipate her being stronger here than she was against Krejcikova. Coco needs to up her level of play too. I don't think that she played all that great against Pegula, to be honest, and I don't think that how she played against Jessica will cut it here against Iga. In unpopular opinion, I actually think that Iga looked a little bit better overall in that first round robin match compared to how Coco played. Not taking anything away from how Gauff played, she played solid and definitely was solid enough to get the straight sets win, but overall my point in saying this is that she needs to play better against Iga. I do anticipate Coco though elevating her level for this next match, and I believe that she will at least take a set, because I think that she'll have more confidence, much more confidence heading into this match as opposed to matches prior against Iga. I think getting that win over Pegula in that round of robin match will give Coco a lot of belief, and Coco knows that she's in good form herself as of late, as she's won her last 10 of 11 matches. I think Coco is also going to be cognizant that Iga is still probably not at her A level, and that Swiatek will probably need a little bit more time to hit her stride. I also wonder too if the faster court conditions will favor Coco more as opposed to Iga. And I say this because most of their matches were played on rather slower courts, but Cincinnati was pretty fast, and of course Coco won that match. The courts in Riyadh play pretty fast as well, and of course are higher bouncing, so I think it would be key for Coco to try to also step up and take advantage whenever she has the opportunity to do so and rush her opponent. Bottom line, I think that Coco's serve needs to be a true weapon out there for her if she wants a shot at defeating Iga again, and judging from what I've seen thus far, I don't think it is just yet. I'm also a bit concerned about whether the double faults will come back to bite, and I think they will, because once again, I anticipate Iga being much more solid on her return compared to Pegula. The head-to-head also still might be a factor in play, I think more mental than anything else for Coco. Honestly, Coco had opportunities to at least take a set in her last 2 matches against Iga, but you can kind of see that when it came time to the clutch moments, Coco kind of tensed up, and I think when someone has owned you like this in the head-to-head like Iga has done Coco, it will be a little bit difficult for you to kind of have belief enough to take your opportunities whenever they present themselves. Again, I think Coco has more confidence to at least take a set, but I'm not quite sure that her level is high enough as it needs to be in order to get her over the finish line, so I will pick Iga in this one. Now, the big standout result from today, Monday's day of play, was Aryna Sabalenka defeating Jasmine Paolini 6-3, 7-5. Sabalenka had a very strong start as she fired on all cylinders to break twice for a 4-love lead. However, the match dynamic shifted after Aryna missed a sitter swing forehand volley, enabling Paolini to break and settle into this match much more. Sabalenka still won the opener, of course, but Jasmine grew more confident and stronger as the match wore on, as she got the first break break of the second set to go out and get a 2-love lead. Now, one reason why Aryna is the world number one right now is because it's just hard to run away with a match or run away with just sets against her. She's going to make life harder for you by applying scoreboard pressure, and that's exactly what she did here against Paolini. Sabalenka broke right back, and she rode off the next 4 games to get a 4-2 lead and put herself in prime position for the comfortable straight sets win. However, we also know that Sabalenka loves to make life more difficult for herself than necessary, and she kept that trend alive today against Paolini. Jasmine clawed her way back into this match, taking advantage of the double fault prone Belarusian to win 3 games on the trot. Paolini had a couple set points at 4-5 on Sabalenka's serve, but Aryna was just simply too clutch. It was really nothing that Paolini did wrong at this 4-5 juncture. Was once again, Sabalenka was too strong, and she played tremendous tennis. And once she got that 4-5 game under her belt, she had all the momentum, as she only dropped 2 more points for the remainder of the match. Now it all comes down to Paolini against Zheng for the second place spot. Qinwen claimed her first ever WTA Finals victory and her first win over Rybakina when she defeated the 5th seed 7-6, 3-6, 6-1. Zheng got out to a strong start, and she got out to a 4-1 lead before Rybakina started to hit her stride, and the Kazakhstani pushed it to a tiebreak. In that breaker, though, Qinwen was just more solid, and I think it boils down to the Chinese woman having greater match reps and confidence as of late. Rybakina, meanwhile, is very low on matches. She has not won a match since the US Open, and she already isn't the best performing player in the clutch. Zheng looked on pace for a straight sets win when she broke first in the second set to go up 3-2. But Elena once again made a late set surge, but this time she won 4 games in a row to take it. In the deciding set, Zheng made 2 key adjustments. First, she made a higher number of returns in play, and she took more chances from the ground and redirected more shots up the line, which worked very well. Rybakina, meanwhile, I was kind of disappointed in her fight, and I hate to say it, but this one Twitter user might have been onto something when he said that Elena has the fighting spirit of a lettuce. For the second year in a row, Rybakina does not make it out of the group stage, as she is eliminated from potentially making to the knockout round. And this isn't really a surprise at all because she's barely played in the second quarter of 2024. It's really a treat and even a win in itself to see her back out competing here in the finals, because I didn't even think she was going to play after withdrawing from the Asian Swing tournament. I got to give credit to Zheng for finding a way past Rybakina, who she had never won a set against in their 2 previous meetings. It will be interesting to see how this next match between Paolini and Zheng unfolds, as the winner of it will get the second place spot and progress to the semifinal round. Zheng has a perfect 3-0 record against Paolini, but I would not be surprised if the Italian got her lick back, as Jasmine played very well even against Sabalenka despite losing in straight sets. So I think that this one will be a blockbuster and can go either way. Now, while Sabalenka Rybakina will be a dead rubber, there's still high stakes on the line for Sabalenka. If Aryna wins this match, she will clinch the year-end #1 ranking. Now, Aryna could also take the #1 ranking if Iga loses another round-robin match, but this way, Sabalenka would be able to control her own destiny, and I think that would be very special. Sabalenka does lead the head-to-head with Rybakina 6-3, but all 6 of Aryna's wins were 3-setters. Elena has not been playing great all week, so Aryna will be the favorite in this one, but perhaps the Kazakhstani will find her footing fully here and end her season with a win over the world #1. Now, the tennis has been pretty entertaining thus far in Riyadh, but it doesn't seem like there are that many people in the stands to appreciate it. As you can see from this video taken by Simon Briggs, there are a lot of empty seats in the stadium, and this is for Rybakina versus Zheng, a singles match. Ben Rothenberg did a story about how the fans were paid to attend the 2023 ATP Next Gen Finals in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, because the stands will be pretty empty otherwise. Saudi is trying to make a mark in tennis. Of course, they had the 6 King Slams recently, and then 2, they're hosting these finals, and it makes sense why they're getting to host these tournaments, because they're paying the big bucks. The WTA Finals this year is offering a record $15 million prize money purse, with an undefeated champion taking home over $5 million for a week's work. I acknowledge it might take some time to develop greater fan interest in the sport of tennis, as they've only really started playing in this country in the past year, really. But I just have concerns and worry that Saudi Arabians just don't have any interest in tennis in general, or they just don't have the logistical means to attend these matches. And it begs the question, is money more important than crowd engagement and atmosphere, which we know atmosphere is very important to our world #1, Aryna Sabalenka. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. Anyways, that is all I have for this update video, and let me know who you think will win between Iga and Coco. Also, do you think that Sabalenka will seal the year-end #1 ranking with the win over Rybakina, or can Elena end her year on a high? And then 2, give your predictions for the active match between Qinwen Zheng and Jasmine Paolini. Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my post-match thoughts on Gauff Swiatek. Thank you again for watching and for your support, and I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.